whenever you make that outbound phone call, if you are coming from a place of contribution and you're truly calling with that person's best interests in mind, it's never a pain to make that phone call. I'm calling them with some good news. I'm calling to tell them how I can help. I'm calling to see how they're doing, to check in, to see if there's anything they need. There's no shame in that, but truly have people's best interests at heart, and there's never any reason not to pick up the phone.
Hi, I'm Noelle with Today's Brew, where top producing real estate agents share their tips and tricks on taking more listings, making more money, and having fun doing it. On today's episode, we welcome Kelly and Keith Jackson from the Houston, Texas area. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Keith. How are you?
Hi. How are you?
I am great. Thank you so much for coming on. So let's go ahead and jump right into it and get to know the both of you a little bit. How long have you been in real estate?
So we've been in real estate for 23 years. And before we go on, I wanted to let you know that we have a team in Houston, Texas, but we are actually serving the DC metro area, right. DC, Maryland, and Virginia.
Yep.
Oh, wow. So you guys are the dream team, really. I already kind of thought that after looking into your history a little bit and had a lot of questions about that. So we'll get right into that then. So where do you live?
We live in the Northern Virginia area.
Okay, perfect. I'm in Virginia Beach. So so we're pretty close.
Right.
And I had seen the Houston area. I had also seen the DC, Northern Virginia, and I didn't know if that was in the past or if that was current. So you have two things going on right now, multiple markets.
Yes.
How do you do that?
Great question. We're building the plane on the runway, as they say. So to
speak. I like that
Lots
saying.
of prayer and communication.
Yes.
Okay, so let's rewind a little bit then. All right, so when you started 23 years ago in the Northern Virginia area?
No. We started 23 years ago in the Chicago area.
Yes.
All right, so you guys are remarkable. You're doing big business then to have 3 different markets at one point. Here's the obvious question. Do the same strategies and techniques work in every area that you've been?
Definitely not. We made that mistake.
Some principles do.
Some principles do.
Like following a schedule, right. Having your goals in front of you, up close and visual, really having a plan for your business. So those things do work. But in terms of lead gen is
different.
It's very different.
So in Chicago, I was not on social media. I didn't plan on getting into social media. But moving to the Houston market, Kelly's like, you have to get on social media.
Well, when we started, there was no
social media. That's true. But moving to Houston said, you're going to have to get on social media. And I fought it. But in that market, they definitely research you before they come call you out or have you out for an appointment. So, and we did a lot of direct mail in Chicago. That worked very well. Whereas where we were in Houston, they have the central mailbox. So folks go get their mail maybe once, twice a week, if you're lucky. And so direct mail wasn't panning out either. So those are some of the things we had to tweak and learn as we moved around.
Houston was definitely more networking, more belly to belly, more face-to-face marketing versus Chicago. Farming was a big deal,
right,
and really effective.
Yes.
Okay. So are you making phone calls currently? Do you prospect and lead gen that way?
Oh yeah, I do.
That's something I don't think I've ever stopped doing since I started many years ago. That's one of the things that helps you to be able to go to new markets.
Right.
So the team that you have going in Houston, do you have them kind of follow the same systems in place that you do back in?
Yes.
Virginia?
Yes.
Okay. So what should an agent's day look like? How much of their time should be focused on new business?
Most of it. So I would say if you're a brand new agent and you have more time than money, then I would definitely focus on my lead gen. I would probably say 4 hours a day. If I was brand new, starting out today, I'm going to commit to 4 hours, and I would hit the phones. I would call people. I would call around my listings wherever I've had success. I would call my neighbors. I would really get on the phones if I was a brand new agent. Once you start to grow your business and have more money than time, then we can kind of certainly leverage some of that and cut it down to 2 hours, because still we still have to follow up. We still have to, even if leads are in front of us, we still have to make contact and communicate with our current clients as well.
I try to structure my day. The first 8 to 12 is new leads, then canceled expireds, and then maybe I'll reach out to FSBOs. In the afternoon, I leave for appointments or follow-up tasks and so on and so forth. That's the blueprint for every day. Now, does it work every day? Not necessarily, but that's the blueprint.
There's always distractions and things to get in the way. That's why it's so important to do everything in the morning that's income producing.
Right.
Here is my question for you. Do you all like tag team your daily schedule, or do you break things up? Like if you're making calls in the morning, Keith, are you making calls as well, Kelly, or are you doing something else?
So I do more repeat and referral business than I think anyone else on the team. So my day is a little bit different because I'm usually talking to people I already know. So a lot of mine is more follow up.
My morning is I'm following up with any new leads that came in first, and then I go to my canceled, expireds, and FSBOs. So that's pretty much my morning flow.
Where would y'all say the bulk of your business comes from? From your follow-up with past clients and your sphere, or expireds and FSBOs, FURBOs?
I think it's an even split.
Really?
We try not to let too much of our business come from one source, because when things went, because of course we were around in 2008 during the Great Recession. And so you can't have everything in just doing one thing and rely on that, because when that goes belly up, then what? So we try to diversify and have multiple sources of business.
So after a transaction's closed, how soon are you getting in touch with that client in order to create that relationship for them to send you more business?
So I would say immediately. So I attend all my closings for sure. So I'm there all the way through. And then we're going to reach out, especially if sometimes they have possession after settlement. And so we're going to stay in contact with them immediately following, because here's people that you've spent the last couple of months with, and they're used to that. So we're still in contact with them and still involved. And then beyond that, we're inviting them to, maybe we have, a client event. Also on their first anniversary, I send out a card with a picture of them at the closing, saying, I can't believe it's been a year. And I just check in like, hey, how are things going? How's life?
And besides the general just sold post you see, we try to do something that's focused on them, with them in front of the house, just them, and we're in the background. And so that's something they can share proudly to their friends. So our information is at the very end of it. So it's a way to highlight them, but at the same time, get our information out to their social media circle.
Absolutely. Everyone wants to feel special, and that day is supposed to be all about them. It's one of the biggest days of people's lives, selling a home, buying a home.
Right.
So allowing them to have the front seat for a moment does speak volumes for sure. So let's talk a little bit about keeping a healthy mindset. We've gone through a lot of changes in 2024, and speculation of more changes, of things to come. And how do you stay positive every day and keep everybody on your team focused on keeping out the media, ignoring the negative sides that people are constantly bringing up?
So the first thing, so we have a morning huddle every morning, Monday through Friday. And the first thing we start off with is gratitude. because when you're grateful, it's hard to be negative.
Mhm.
And so we don't generally bring negativity onto the huddle. So it's what's working. And even if we're talking about things that aren't working, it's spun in such a way. So we ask a couple questions of each person, like what's working in your business, what needs work, what are you focused on today, and who are 3 to 5 people that you need to talk to today, no matter what. And so that's kind of how our huddle is structured every day. And that helps us to realize the huddle helps us to like get ready for the day.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
positive. It's everyone's up.
And that's the Houston team as well. So they're an hour ahead of us. So
Okay.
that's Central Time, but they're on there at the same time as all of us.
Yes.
So
That's great. A good little pep talk. And like you said, get the good energy, positive vibes flowing.
right.
Yes.
And let me guess, you don't put the TV on in the morning. No social media, no TV, no news.
No.
No, we start we the clock goes off about 5:30. You're up sometimes earlier than that, but
I try to.
But my watch starts to shake me at about 5:30, and we start each day with getting outside. So we actually by the time we get on the huddle, we've got some exercise in.
Right.
So that helps get things flowing as well, and ideas. And we usually don't talk a lot while we're walking. It gives you a time to clear your own head and prepare for the day.
I feel like no amount of coffee can replace exercise in the morning.
Right.
I have several people ask me, "Oh, why do you work out at 6 a.m.?" I'm like, because my day is 1,000 times better if I work out at 6 a.m.
Yes.
I agree.
Coffee doesn't do it for me. Like not at all.
Neither of us drink coffee, so it's not even in the regimen.
Yeah, I'm like, that's just anxiety. That's not motivation. That's not energy. It doesn't clear your head and get you focused for the day.
Right.
So, all right, are y'all in coaching?
So I've been a national coach
Okay.
for a while. I'm not coaching right now. And I have been coaching with Tom Ferry, even though I'm on break right now. I had just 1,000 things going on. And so really trying to but I would say yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Coaching
Okay.
is super important.
Okay, so we'll just lead right into that. You would recommend new agents, if that's one thing they could do right off the bat, would be to get into coaching?
Yes, that is. Today, one of my former coaching clients sent me 2 dozen roses for my birthday.
Oh,
And
well, happy birthday.
thank you.
Happy birthday.
And she sent that because you're such an important part of people's lives, and coaching really helps you as a coach, you get to see the blind spots that maybe they can't see. And so it really helps them to propel their business forward. And this particular person is killing it now. And so it's just a great feeling. So that's one of my favorite things.
I bet. I recently saw, I don't know which coaching program it was because I follow a lot of them online. I am in coaching as well, but I still look at what everyone has to say.
Right.
And I saw that a coach said, ask their client, what did you like implement in your schedule differently now that changed your business? And they said something about getting an assistant. And he said, well, I've been telling you to do that for months and months and months. And now you finally did it. And coaches can recognize the things that you can't sometimes. Right. So what can you advise people to do to listen and maybe take some outside advice a little sooner than later? Like be more coachable.
Okay.
I could answer that. You have to just shut down your pride, humble yourself, and just say, okay, this person has done it more than me. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to go in on blind faith and accept what they're telling me.
Perfect. Perfectly said. I couldn't agree more because when I first got into real estate, people would talk about ego. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking, ego, what are they talking about? That's not what it means. But then I realized, okay, no, really it is. Like you said, swallow your pride a little bit and maybe drink the Kool-Aid, as they say, right. and get involved and don't go into it with an ego. Like you said, thinking you know more, or maybe even just simply being maybe embarrassed of some of the things that people ask you to do, to call your sphere. Right. I mean, that's a challenging thing. Like always been my biggest challenge. I'd rather call an expired any day of the week than pick up my phone and call someone that I know and ask for business. So
Yeah.
help me and other people like me. How do we get around that?
I agree 100%. I was the same way. I prefer calling strangers versus people that I know.
So give me some advice.
I think with people that you know, just come off with conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll eventually, if you come off concerned about them, they'll return the question to you, well, how are you doing, well? And then you could say, well, I'm selling real estate and things are going well. I could always use more business. And so it can come off, not that you called them for business, but you called to be a friend. And when they reciprocate to be a friend to you, that's when you bring it up.
And I think what helps is also whenever you make that outbound phone call, if you are coming from a place of contribution and you're truly calling with that person's best interest in mind, it's never a pain to make that phone call. I'm calling them with some good news. I'm calling to tell them how I can help. I'm calling to see how they're doing, to check in, to see if there's anything they need. And so there's no shame in that.
No.
And so picking up the phone is much easier. Now, if you're calling thinking all about yourself, like, hey, I need a check, then that's a whole different, then you start to have those guilt feelings and maybe I shouldn't pick it up. Every time I call them, I only ask for business, but truly have people's best interests at heart. And there's never any reason not to pick up the phone.
Yeah, no commission breath. Nobody wants to be a part of that. Which I feel like you all are very genuine couple. What's it like doing business together?
I'm not always so I am, and I say this, and people say that in their advertisings, but I am really a staunch negotiator on behalf of my clients, no matter who it is, whether if Keith is on the other side or it really doesn't matter. Like I go in as if it were me.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes I can remember Keith.
The hardest part is when we're doing a deal and I'm gonna have one side and she has the other.
Yes.
Has that happened? Has that happened?
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
And Keith wanted special favors for his clients and it didn't happen.
Yeah, so
not gonna happen.
That's when that's the toughest part.
I can imagine.
We had to learn how to, respect one another's strengths and just kind of, okay, that's not my area.
Yeah.
And we do have separate offices.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that helps.
So let's take it a little bit further then. So you have your team, you have the K-Jax group. So people know that you work together. When you are making outbound calls, maybe you're struggling, Keith, maybe this person just doesn't like you. Kelly, will you follow up?
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay.
It seems like usually they don't like me and then they like him.
Well, I think you both like him also. So there's good cop, bad cop over there.
Yes, exactly.
What's your transaction goal this year? What are you guys on par for?
100 transactions between the two of us. Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Well, I want to thank you both for coming on today. It means a lot to us. And I appreciate you taking out all the time because dominating 2 markets, the dream team over there, and lots of great advice for everybody. Thank you so much. If people want to reach out to you, do you have any social media, phone number, website that you'd like to share?
Yes. You can reach me at kellyjackson.realtor, and that's on Instagram. It's on LinkedIn, Facebook. I have the same kind of handle throughout.
I'm on Facebook as Keith S. Jackson, and on Instagram.
K-Shawn one.
No, it's Keith Jackson Realty. I think I changed it from.
You have multiple.
Yeah, so you can find me. I'm on all platforms.
I found you.
IG, I'm on it all. So.
Well,
KeithJackson.realtor.
KeithJackson.realtor. Okay, perfect. Well, thank you again both for coming on and sharing your time and wisdom with us.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.